I don't know about you, but I hate small talk. I am terrible at it, I don't know why it exists, so naturally, I spent a day talking to strangers.
Try and learn how to be a real person. This is not helping my case.
Don't tell my mom. Thank you to Trends by The Hustle for sponsoring this video.
So despite what it might seem like on camera, I am terrible at talking to people. Most of the time, I'm talking to this. But when I'm talking to people, it usually goes like this. I feel like I'm buffering in real life and I hate it. Like, why do we as a society put so much emphasis on conversations that go nowhere? So today, in this video, we are going to figure out why small talk exists and hopefully how to get better at it. Side note, everybody is different. There can be multiple medical reasons and societal structures that stop people from being able to communicate with each other effectively. If whatever solution or answer I find in this video doesn't work for you, if it doesn't even sound appealing to you, that's okay. We're different people. Anyway, let's get reading.
It all started with a quick search that yeeted me down a rabbit hole of op-eds, essays, and self-help. It was surprisingly difficult to find any proper research on small talk between the WikiHow articles and YouTube tutorials promising to cure my social anxiety. However, I got what I needed, and I'm kind of surprised because I think that my stance on small talk has changed. At least a little bit, I don't know. Also, completely unrelated, this is the Wikipedia image for small talk. Just thought you should know. Anyway, here is the science of small talk. The study of the social value of small talk traces back to the anthropologist Dr. Bronislaw Malinowski. In 1923, he wrote an essay called The Problem of Meaning in Primitive Languages, where he reflected on his experiences translating tribal languages to English. He acknowledged that all language operates on two levels: informational and social. When you speak with others, you're usually attempting to inform, coordinate, or express a unique thought in a relevant social context. It can be discussing plot lines after a movie or informing a doctor of your symptoms. Regardless, information and social context are intimately intertwined, except for one outlier: phatic communication. He described it as the case of language used in free, aimless social intercourse. In other words, small talk. Small talk is special because it doesn't serve any informational purpose. It usually reveals something absurdly obvious or performs a standard social script. This is why it can feel so alien to some people, especially those whose primary focus in communication is exchanging information rather than participating in a social event. However, small talk does serve a vital purpose on the social level of language. The act of engaging in it is the whole point. Malinowski believed that small talk originated in opposition of silence. It was an intentional act to seek a connection and avoid conflict. However, the purpose and power of small talk has evolved since then. Depending on the social context, a different flavor of small talk may be expected. How we perform in relation to that expectation allows us to control our role in the social circumstance. So, as meaningless as small talk may seem on the surface, it can be used as a powerful tool to define our social standing. In other words, small talk is big important. Me love grammar. And if I wanted to be dramatic, I'd say that small talk is ingrained in humanity's DNA. Unfortunately, not my DNA, because I'm trash garbage at it. But we do be living in a society, so I feel inclined to get better at it. And this is where all those self-help and psychology articles became useful. Now, there isn't one specific source for this list because everybody was saying like the same thing in different fonts. However, I've compiled 3 easy ways to get better at small talk. First, empathetic listening. It's a tool that can be used in crisis intervention to better connect with people. It boils down to making an active effort so that your conversation partner feels heard. There's a laundry list of ways to do this, but some easy steps are to physically engage with the conversation and paraphrasing their words with your understanding so you can stay on the same page. But conversations need to feel like they're going somewhere, or else people tend to lose interest. Asking questions are an important tool to push a conversation forward. A good question has more than a yes or no answer. It should be open-ended on a topic that the person cares about and gives them the opportunity to express themselves. Finally, being kind can get you a long way. Conversation isn't a competition. You don't need to flex or impress. The person you're speaking with is someone with their own complex experiences and interests. Remembering that and letting that knowledge drive the conversation can get you a surprisingly long way. So, that's the theory. Now, how can we see if it actually works? How can we put it into practice? Well, it's time for
a garbage experiment with sample size 1. So basically my goal is to get better at talking to strangers, doing the small talk with people I don't know very well. So my first thought was, why not use Omegle? That's a website that connects you with strangers. I did a trial run and it went about as good as you could expect.
Hi! Somebody just sent me a capital M. Oh.
Well, I don't know what I expected.
So instead I'm going to be talking to friends of friends, just to filter out the demonetization. And the quality of our conversations are going to be measured on 4 axes. And all of this is going to be recorded on a spreadsheet. So I had outlined 3 different ways to get better at small talk, but I want to figure out which one is worth focusing on first. So I'm going to treat them like treatments. But now you might be wondering, but you forgot to film any attempts at conversing with strangers prior to doing all of this research, so it's not fair for you to be your own control. Where is the science? And that's totally correct. Thank you for continuing to point out my flaws, internet. So instead of like a control, I'm gonna set up a target level of conversation based off talking to my friends. Look at them. And I'll see how conversations with strangers match up. But what are we gonna talk about? Well, I asked you guys on Twitter for conversation topics and I recorded it all on a spreadsheet. The further I get into this video, the more I sound like a robot. Anyway, let's go.
I'm about to hop onto my first call for this thing. And the whole day I was trying to convince myself that I wasn't nervous. But I'm nervous now. Oh, why did I come up with this video idea? Alright. Hello? Oops, I was muted. Hello! Just ate a sandwich. Oh, hello.
Oh, hi.
What's your favorite animal?
I don't have one.
Do you think koalas should exist?
I think they should, just because I like the idea of things existing rather than not existing.
Have you touched a brain? This is...
Yeah, well, not a human brain.
Okay.
Not a human brain. It was, I think it was a sheep brain.
I had like a flock of sheep for a bit.
Okay, so I just finished up the first batch of calls, and I'm excited to talk to more people. I think. I can't believe I said that I'm excited to talk to more people.
I would be an Italian herb and cheese.
So do you use one of those like really terrifying floor polishing machines?
100%. There's been this like whole drama thing at the hospital with a few of the older ladies been stealing the machine and trying to use it on their floors.
Do you have a soda stream?
We used to have one before the house fire. So the stove was on for some reason and a pot of oil had boiled down and it just like became this huge oil fire. The microwave was melting. I ran back inside for my cats.
Well, I'm glad that you emerged from the fire safely.
I don't know if like this disqualifies me, but like I made notes just in case like we had nothing to talk about.
We are very similar people. I can sense it right now. And so I spent the day just talking with these people I heard of tangentially in my friends' lives. They were strangers, but it felt intimately different from Omegle with its disconnected weirdness.
This felt like speed dating, you know?
These one-on-one talks felt like I was getting access to the highlight reel of their lives.
Right now it's this one. It's a snake. My dad is really scared of snakes, but he's also born near the snake.
I got to hear the wild stuff.
The only reason I knew the house was on fire is because hilariously I was up late watching Sailor Moon.
The weird stuff.
It's very squishy, actually.
And the stuff I could never imagine doing.
On our Rebison right now, we're building like a Mars rover.
Sure, there were a few technical difficulties. Oh, I can't hear you.
Can you see me?
Yes.
I can't see you.
Oh no. But they faded to the background behind good conversation, and by the end of the day... And that's it. I spent the whole day talking to strangers, and... it was a good day. My whole day was full of these warm little moments, getting to know people a little bit better. Not just strangers, friends too. Take a look at this graph. This is how the various treatments lined up against the baseline I set with Melissa and Taha. From a purely numeric perspective, it would seem to suggest that talking with strangers was just better. However, as the day went on, I came to realize that talking with strangers versus friends serve different purposes. With strangers, you're learning about each other for the first time, and it's exciting. Once you get over that initial fear and hesitation, which really doesn't go away, like before every call my heart was pounding and I seriously considered canceling calls. But if you push through that, if you lean in and fake it till you make it or whatever, it's exciting, it's fun. And it only gets better the further out you go from your comfort zone of relatively homogenous people. I talk to people from small towns, people who traveled the world, people who don't hate dubbed anime, and people who made it through tremendous loss. It was like being smacked over the head with the reminder that I'm not the only person in the world. And I think that revelation is the reason why the trials or chats or whatever where I was focusing on asking questions went the best. They had high ratings, they went on for longer, and I generally just felt better afterwards. Because in order to ask good questions, you need to listen and you need to learn, and the learning about somebody new is so much fun. This video was hard to make. It's the hardest video I've ever had to make. I came up with the idea forgetting that I have social anxiety, and it only got worse after the whole Omegle thing. But I'm also really proud of what I've done in it. I'm not sure if it'll translate well onto video. This could just be very boring compared to soup or illegal olive oil. But I put aside all those fears for a second because I knew what I wanted. I wanted to learn why small talk exists and if you can get better at it. And I think I figured it out. I've been fully converted into a fan of small talk. But this video just kind of reminded me that even though learning can be really stupidly, verily difficult, it's worth it. It's a shame that I came to this revelation during a pandemic where I can't really talk to people naturally. Oh well, it's fine. Bye! Hey there, I hope you liked that video. If you did, please consider sharing it with a friend because it goes a long way on YouTube. You might also like these other videos we've made about language. But stick around for a second because we are thanking Trends by The Hustle for sponsoring this video. And we're gonna do it while watering my plants because multitasking.
Alright, so Trends is the ultimate knowledge hub from The Hustle. A membership gets you access to so much information and a network that is a game changer for entrepreneurs and other ambitious individuals. Trends has been an incredibly useful service for Melissa, Taha, and I as we try and get Answer in Progress up and running. Not only do we get really valuable insights about the media industry, but also, it's just so jam-packed with value that I can barely summarize it. They've got articles on deep dives, original research, and how-tos. There's a newsletter that highlights upcoming trends and business advice. There's weekly live lectures from experts who teach you how to master SEO and cold emails. And this isn't even the last thing they offer, but it is my favorite. They have signals. Honestly, it's my favorite part of my membership. Signals show you different trending subjects across a broad variety of categories, and they help inspire video ideas. Also, they're freaky accurate. Last year they predicted an indoor plant boom, and look at me now. Anyway, Trends by The Hustle is just jam-packed with value, and right now you can get your first 7 days for just $1. Go to trends.co/Sabrina and Friends to get your $1 7-day trial, or just click the first link in the description. But either way, have a lovely day.